This lesson is going to focus on customary capacity conversions. And again, you're given a chart for these, but I like to use another tool I'm going to show you. You can use either one, but I find the charts get kind of confusing for kids to use. Remember, when we're looking at capacity, we're looking at how much something can hold. So a glass of water, a pitcher, a fish tank, a swimming pool, all those things are going to show capacity. We're going to focus on gallons, quarts, pints, cups, fluid, ounces. And I'm going to use the same little rhyme. Again, I know it's silly, but it works. If you can remember, big to small, multiply all, small to big, divide the pig. Again, when we set up the linked ones yesterday, we did a certain format for all of them. I'm going to do the same thing here, but now I'm going to draw a picture because pictures often help us with these problems. I'm going to draw a picture to help us with this. So a lot of you guys have seen the big G, and you're going to have to make them really big on your paper because we're going to put a lot of stuff in here. Here's big king gallon, okay? So king gallon has been used in, I know, a lot of 3rd and 4th grade. Here's this little crown. So king gallon has 4 queens. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3, 4 in the middle. And a lot of times I ask kids how many P's are in a Q, how many Q's are in a G. If you can close your eyes and think about this picture, it helps you figure out these problems. So king gallon has 4 queens. Each queen has 2 princesses. I'm going to make some P's in here. Little pretty princesses. Princess, princess. And each princess has 2 kitty cats. These are the cups. Two cats each. Not the castle I would want to live in. And this is something you've seen before, but there's something I add to this for 5th grade that's new. King Gallon has a special cup that is 1 cup, and this cup is 8 fluid ounces. It is 1 cup and it's equal to 8 fluid ounces. I usually put a big K on there because he's the king. And I call it his Kool-Aid cup because it starts with a K and it works. So if you can remember, the big G is your gallon, the queens are your quarts, the P's are your princesses, the cats are the cups, and then his Kool-Aid cup, because he is the king, he's got to have something special, is 8 fluid ounces in 1 cup. This picture will help you solve all your measurement capacity conversions. Again, you're going to have charts that are going to show you 4 quarts are in 1 gallon. It'll say there's 2 pints and 1 quart. Usually the measurement conversion charts don't have all of these conversions, and you still have to either convert twice or think about this picture. There's 2, 4, 6, 8 pints in a gallon and so on. But I'm going to show you how to use this picture to help you with the conversions. We're going to write the problems the same as we did before. So let's say I have 5 gallons, and I want to change them to quarts. I'm going to do what I did before yesterday. I'm looking for my big. What's bigger, the king or the queen? Well, king gallon's the big one, so I'm going to circle my big and ask myself, am I going big to small or small to big? On this one, I'm going big to small, so we know to multiply all. And I'm going to look for how many Q's in the G. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm multiplying 5 times 4 to get 20 quarts. Again, if you want to use the measurement conversion charts, that's fine, but 5th graders tend to do better with this picture. I'm going to show you another one. If we do 32 cups and I want to change it to pints, pint is abbreviated PT, quart, QT. I'm going to circle my big. What's bigger, the cat or the princess? Well, hopefully not the cat. I'm going to circle the princess and ask myself, am I going big to small or small to big? On this one, I'm going small to big, so we divide the pig. How many C's are in a P? Well, there's 2 cats in the P, so I'm dividing by 2, and 32 divided by 2 is 16. So you can see we're doing the same thing we did yesterday, but we're just using different denominations. Sometimes you're going to have a problem that's written like this. I always tell my 5th graders, when you see a problem that's written this way, rewrite it this way. Otherwise, it messes with the whole system. Always have your blank on the right and ask yourself, where's my big? Well, the gallon's my big. I'm going small to big, so I'm dividing by 4 because there's 4 Q's in the G, and I get 10 gallons. I'm going to show one more scenario that you'll see quite a bit, and sometimes they're going to have a situation where you're comparing capacities. So if I'm comparing 32 pints and 34 cups, I always tell kids to find their big, because kids usually like to multiply more than they divide. So if it's set up like this, you want to find your big side and make it equivalent to the small side. So I'm going to do pints to cups, and since I'm going big to small, I'm going to multiply all. Each princess has 2 cats. I'm multiplying times 2, and this would be 64 cups. This was kind of obvious, but a lot of times they're going to be 2 things that you really can't tell the difference between. So be really careful on these and make sure you're actually doing the conversions. For example, if I have 3 gallons and 24 pints, I'm going to go to my big and I'm going to make it into a pint. So I'm converting gallons to pints, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm just drawing the arrows in a different way. So we're going big to small, so we multiply all. I'm going to go back to my picture. How many princesses in the G? 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm multiplying 3 times 8, and I get 24. A lot of kids will say the gallons are bigger and draw their symbol, but be really careful because sometimes they're equal, and until you do the conversion and you have the same units, you're really not going to be able to tell. We're going to go ahead and talk about customary weight. conversions, and I go over this really fast because by the time you practice capacity and length for a couple of days, the weight is a piece of cake. You're always going to be given a chart that says what everything is. 1 pound is abbreviated LB. So if you see LB, that means pound. 1 pound is 16 ounces. And that's written OZ for an abbreviation. 1 ton, written big T, is equal to 2,000 pounds. LBS for pounds. So I don't spend a lot of time on this because it's the exact same thing as before, except it's even simpler because you only have 2 things in your chart for customary weight. So if I have 2 pounds and I want to change it to ounces, I'm going to circle my big. A pound is bigger than an ounce. I'm going big to small. So I multiply all, and you're going to have to do 16 times 2, which a lot of these you're going to have to stack up and just multiply because you don't have your 16 facts memorized. So make sure you're actually taking the time. Don't try to do these in your head, and make sure you don't make silly mistakes on these. Just go out to the side of your problem and work them out. So pounds to ounces would look like this. The ton ones are even easier. If I have 4 tons and I want to change it to pounds, I'm going to circle my big to small. I multiply all. I'm multiplying times 2,000, and 4 times 2,000 is 8,000. Your numbers on these are going to be pretty big, so don't freak out if you've got some crazy big numbers. If I had 16,000 pounds and I want to change it to tons, make sure you circle your big. My lights keep coming off. My big is my ton, so I'm going small to big. We divide the pig. I'm doing 16,000 divided by 2,000. Remember our trick, when we divide and you have zeros on both sides, you can cancel the same number of zeros as long as it's on the same side. 16 divided by 2 is 8, and I have 8 tons. So make sure if you're crossing out zeros, if you cross out 1 on one side, you're crossing out 1 on the other so you don't accidentally have the wrong number of zeros.